Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a circuit that demands absolute precision, bravery, and just a little bit of luck. Tonight I'm your host, Sagar Bakshi. It's green, green, green here at the Miami Autodromo Internazionale. Side by side, there goes Sean Stam, the Stam Man in the 000 as well.
Papa Green made up 3 positions in 2 laps. With Leslie Simpkins now throws his elbows out at Druid.
Good evening and welcome to Summit Point Raceway, where tonight Sausage Dodgers Racing brings Formula 4 to one of America's classic grassroots road courses. And the timing could not be better because this championship fight is absolutely wide open. Coming in tonight, Lewis Butler leads Paul Cook by just 3 points. And the top 6 drivers are covered by only 10. Christian Sarcassia, Francisco Cardullo, Vincenzo Stagnito, and Daniel Mofat are all right there in striking distance, which means every position, every overtake, and every mistake could have major championship consequences. Summit Point is a circuit that rewards rhythm, precision, and commitment. And in Formula 4 machinery, momentum is everything. There's no room for wasted speed, no room for poor exits. And with the points this tight, this is certainly no room for complacency. The pressure is on, the championship fight is tightening, and tonight could be a defining round. This is Sausage Dodgers Racing Formula 4 at Summit Point, and it's time to go racing. Thank you very much for joining, folks. Thank you very much for staying tuned. It's a pleasure to be your host, as always. Sagar Bakshi here, but joined with me in the booth is none other than the legendary Oscar Corbett. Oscar, how are you doing on this fine evening?
I'm doing amazing, Sagar. Thank you for having me. It's very good, very warm here in the UK. That's unfortunately stopping me from racing. Not the only one though. Quite a few of us aren't today, unfortunately. But Summit Point, season finale, definitely looking like a good one.
That's the thing. This is a little bit like the Porsche Cup that we had, where we had a very tight championship battle. The top 3 were all in contention. But here and now, we have almost 10 still in the mix.
Yep.
Now, Oscar, what are the keys to the race, and how are the drivers going to have to use them to just get the most out of these Formula 4s tonight?
It's quite a loads of very long corners, loads of very nice straights. The slipstream in these cars is quite strong. I did overhear some practice talk, and again, the track temperature is very high, so keeping those tires under control is definitely going to come into it as well. Drivers locking up early, that's definitely going to cause them issues later on in the race. But we've got some really good, consistent drivers out there, so it's going to be hard to keep them not fully affluent with the track.
Absolutely. It's going to be tight here for all of the drivers as we check out the gap to the leaders now. Marino Kloarek is there threatening for P1, that pole position. But look at the spread for the top 5. Not even 2/10 separates them here at the 2-mile racetrack of Summit Point.
Yeah, completely, yeah. Paul Rocky Kirky, this is his proving grounds. I've known him and Leslie have been going at each other for on this track for a while. Who can beat whose time? Unfortunately, Leslie's not here today to prove his point. So Paul, I'm sure will prove his, but a sub 1 minute 9 on this track in these kind of temperatures, that's something to beat. That's definitely something to beat.
It definitely is. But the drivers here are going to contend with these very hot conditions, and it's going to push their tires to the absolute limit. Luckily enough for them, they have 2 sessions, so they're not going to have to deal with a brutal 40-minute sprint race or a 20-minute sprint, then a pit stop, and then a 20-minute sprint. It's going to be a little bit different. We're going to have 2 different heats coming up. So 2 chances for drivers to get points tonight. And that's going to challenge us throughout the evening to see if you can contend with not only the real life temperatures, but the temperatures that are here at Summit Point. The track that's located in West Virginia of the United States with only 10 turns, it's a natural terrain road course. The main straight is approximately 2,900 feet long. I don't know how many kilometers that is, unfortunately, but it's one of the best known club racing and driver training circuits in, well, America, really. As we get ready for the session to tick over, a few drivers still putting in some laps right now. We'll talk about the historic origins of Summit Point, a raceway that opened back in October of 1969. Nice. The facility was originally known as Summit Point Raceway before later becoming Summit Point Motorsports Park. We still know and love it as Summit Point. The first professional events arrived here back in 1970, helping establish the circuit in American road racing. That was the surge of AMA and Trans Am, just amazing road racing in America. So for that to be the grassroots racing origins of Summit Point is just so meaningful. At least as an American, it's probably akin to saying that about Brands Hatch or in Park. You guys have so many famous racetracks that were probably part of many of your famous drivers' grassroots history.
Oh yeah, absolutely. A lot of our racetracks are actually converted airfields that were obviously used, to defend the island, So yeah, no, completely understood. I think another cool fact is Paul Newman, that was, I believe, his favorite racetrack, which was Summit Point as well. Quite a few of the corners are, not necessarily named after him, but, he had an input on them. I think it's called the Nürburgring of West Virginia, if I'm not mistaken. So, considering some of the Nürburgring artists we have on this track, this should probably be quite an entertaining one.
Well, I would say VIAR is probably the Nürburgring of Virginia, to say the least. But
West Virginia, would that make a difference?
Maybe. I'm not a Virginian.
If we narrow it down a little bit.
We were talking about Idaho earlier. That's about as far east as I'm willing to travel. Okay.
Fair enough. Yeah, makes sense.
But as
West is best, just like for us as well.
West side, best side. Here we go.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's take a look at the results here. For the qualifying session, it was Paul Rocky Cook taking pole by just those 76 milliseconds in front of Marino Clark. Richard Beaton, 87 thousandths back. And then it was Dan Miller, Mark Richards, James Piper, Jack McCarthy, Luis Lopez, Vincenzo Stagnito, Francisco Cardulo. And why don't you take us through the rest?
Marco Malvasi in 11th, Paul Sims in 12th, Mauro Gabbiardi in 13th, Tommy Harala 14th, Anthony Ward 15th, and last but not least, Benedetto Del Vizio in 16th.
Awesome stuff. Thank you very much, Oscar. And let's get the drivers in the hot seat themselves now as we get gridded up. Paul Rocky Cook in the Chips Ahoy now.
Yeah, the grid's official Cookie Monster is in P1. This is how we like to see it.
I love
He's our very own.
As we get ready, the anticipation builds for the grid. Paul Cook, Marino Clark, Richard Beaton, Dan Miller, Mark Richards, James Piper, Jack McCarthy, Luis Lopez, Stagnito, Cardulo, Malvasi and Sims. Over to the remaining drivers. Then it'll be Gabbiati, Harala, Ward, and Benedito De Viso. How could I forget? Excuse-moi, s'il vous plaît. As we get ready to take the start, big shout out and thanks to everybody watching. Whoa, and there is a false start there from the field. I think a couple black flags handed out. That'll be Mark Richards, Jack McCarthy, and Dan Miller. And that's going to have championship implications going down in towards turn one. Paul Rocky Cook, Marino Clark, Richard Beaton make it through cleanly, but Mark Richards with that black flag is going to have to pay the price. This pays dividends to the man named Vincenzo Stagnito right now, who's running in 5th place, but is about to be running in 4th and garnish maybe even a podium. Again, we have drivers and people standing by to do the points. That is a late move from Vincenzo Stagnito. He's going to go the long way around the outside of Mark Richards here and now. He's not going to wait for that drive-through. He's going to lick the stamp and send it through the S's. He's going to make it stick. Vincenzo Stagnito in the number 21. The Sim Drivers EU pilot makes the move and done and dusted.
Crazy start there, absolutely crazy start. I rewatched the replay between, you know, the guys who got the black flags, and honestly, it looked like Dan Miller was the first one, and then Mark Richards and Jack McCarthy, almost as if, you know, they were just watching each other, jumped, followed through, just one after the other, literally a perfect sync.
3 wide down the back straight. It's going to be tight going down into the final corner. Malvasi backs out of it. Piper and McCarthy with that black flag side by side. Sorry to interrupt you, Oscar. It was just getting a little hectic going down into turn one.
Needs to happen.
Whoa.
Good action going on.
Who is that in the black car? Is that James Piper? Of course it is. Of course it's James Piper. Why? It's always him. Causing a little bit of trouble and chaos here as now Malvasi, the Italian driver, gets through and he has Piper ahead. And this isn't looking great for the man in, highlighter green. Lime green, let's call it. The 66 of Luis Lopez, the Portuguese man. Running in 8th place right now, right where he started, but lost a few positions along the way. Whoa! Stagnito challenges Beaton for P3. He drives by like he was standing still.
Yeah, you can see how drivers are changing direction down the straight, really trying to break that toe as much as possible.
Yeah, they are. Holy smokes. It is getting crazy out here. I mean, I know the championship fight is on right now, but even drivers that are not in a championship fight are battling like they are fighting for P1, and there goes a move from that 66 on the Cyberpunk of Marco Malvasi, but the door closes swiftly, and Malvasi is there to secure P7 for now. Now that Mark Richards has served his drive-through penalty, he's down in P14. Yeah,
I believe Jack is going in to serve his now as well. Yep.
Jack
coming out just behind Benedetto and Anthony, I believe.
So who are the three? Oh, here we go. A little touch from Lopez now into Malvasi, and that will cause Malvasi to lose not 1 but 2 positions. And P8 now, up 3 still on the good. So it was Miller, McCarthy, and Richards that all jumped the start. Okay.
Yeah, Miller seemed to go a little bit ahead of everyone.
Oh no! Luis Lopez crashed, and it looks like Malvasi just collected them in the process. Let's see if we can get a replay of what happened here to Luis Lopez, the Portuguese 66 driver, May have just dipped a wheel off into the grass under braking. Was he touched? Oh, he might have been touched there and then just gets collected in the chaos. Unfortunate circumstances there, but we all know mistakes happen. Here comes McCarthy and Richards, who are still up for a battle right now. They want to chuck it in and send it going down into Paddock Bend themselves. McCarthy trying to go for a switchback on Richards, gets a little over under right now. It might work out in the long run. Coming down the straightaway, though, it does belong to Richards going up to the chute.
Yeah, both drivers very respectful of each other's space, both giving each other, you know, loads of room, loads of racing room. Very good. Summit Point does allow that, you know, it's quite a wide track. But yeah, both drivers very, very gentlemanly at the moment.
Yes, they are. It's something that you love to see, especially with a grid of drivers that continues to expand over and over again, right? That the establishment of this is the way that we race is always there, and it's showcased by the drivers wearing the Sausage Dodgers colors. Here we go, a move there from Gabbiati on Tommy Harala, and that move is going to stick here and now. Tommy Harala done and dusted.
James Piper is currently attempting a move on Richard Beaton for P3, I believe, sorry, P4. Good battle there. He's definitely trying to, you know, overtake wherever he can. Struggling at the moment to get ahead though. Richard is placing his car very well across, you know, the different corners. Tough to be in James's place. I do feel like he has more pace, but yeah, Richard does just seem to be able to hold him up here.
Looks like Richard Beaton was losing about a 10th per lap there on average. And now James Piper has an opportunity to challenge up for P4. Didn't have the best qualifying so far, but Piper, who's up one, follows in the little lockup from Richard. Absolutely. Yeah. So that's going to cost him a little bit of time there. And here comes Piper's charge now. Is this one gonna work? It's not there yet, but up the hill through the S's, in through the chute now. Still doesn't go for a daylight move. That's diminishing. And you know, that's the other thing that's prevalent too, is we're not seeing a lot of drivers go for low percentage moves, right? It's a lot of just honest risk taking. Overall, the side-by-sides are fast, they're fierce, mistakes happen, but overall, it's never egregious, or it's never, I don't know how to describe it. It's never too aggressive. That's the way to describe it, right? It's just the right amount of aggression. Richard Beaton coming down pit lane. What's that about? Not seeing.
Well, I think he just had a connection issue. He just seems to have disappeared.
Oh, shoot. Okay. Richard Beaton out of the race, unfortunately, parking it. So, with that being said, importantly enough, this actually promotes pretty much the entire field of position. So Vincenzo Stagnino now up into third place and has to worry about...
I think he was in third. I think Richard was in fourth. Yeah, so that essentially promotes everyone
behind
James and below. Yeah, James and below, basically. Yeah.
Vincenzo fought off Richard Beaton earlier on, but now James Piper and below, like you said, all promoted. So Piper qualified P6, now up into fourth place, is catching Stagnito. Let's see the catch here. It says the catch will happen in 4 laps. We're running 1-minute laps. 10 more laps of running. Yeah, it's bound to happen. I guess the question is, or the question lies though, catching is one thing, passing is a whole nother ball game. Will he be able to pull it off?
Yep.
Here's another fan favorite driver, Benedetto De Vezzo, the UK driver with Italian heritage, chasing down Mauro Gabbiati up ahead.
Yeah, a lot of our UK-based drivers will be struggling today. Everyone apart from Paul, I'm pretty sure, probably. So yeah, it's double battles everywhere across the field right now.
Absolutely. You see them just everywhere. Orange means that the drivers are close to each other. And red means, well, there's a bit of an emergency. And here comes the emergency now as Benedetto and Gabbiati go wheel to wheel, coming out of the carousel, now through the S's. Or excuse me, through turn 1, now through Wagon Bend. Up the hill, in through the chute. James
Piper is
Piper
definitely still getting closer, yeah, to Stagnito. I think you were right, yeah. Might even be a bit sooner. He's, Stagnito is weaving down a straight a lot again. He's allowed to do that, break the toe. He's not in the braking zone yet. And he holds the inside.
Here we go. The battle is on for P2 and P3. Again, this has direct championship implications. James Piper, we were just talking about him in the championship points before the race. He's actually the last driver, or the first driver, I should say, to mathematically be oh, big lock up there from Stagnito, and Piper goes through, but it's Stagnito who recovers the wheel.
Yeah, both drivers need to be applauded there. Stagnito did an amazing recovery, and James, he just read that beautifully, just absolutely dodged it to the left. Very, very well done. Very well done to both drivers. Unfortunate for Stagnito, but they both lived to drive a few more laps. So well done, well done.
That's the key. They both live to tell the tale, right? As now here it looks like Benedetto De Vezzo was able to get past Mauro Gabbiati simultaneously as the battle between James Piper and Stagnito. Well, that's not going anywhere until it ends now, as it touches Stagnito and Piper come together. And I think we can get a replay of that one. I think this deserves a helicam shot.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see that on replay. That was the first little.
That was the first one. Here's the second one.
Oh, that's so common for Formula racing, isn't it? Unfortunately, wheels interlocking. Difficult to judge.
Oh, just so close.
Yeah.
You know, you don't know who's coming where. It's just so difficult to judge situations like that as we hop back over to the line. One for the stewards to deal with. Oh, no. Are you kidding me? Add insult to injury. Stagnito has a meatball flag.
Yeah, I wonder if that was from the incident with James. I think it might have been, but because I didn't see anything. Yeah. So all in all, to be fair, even though James actually got spun, he came out all things considered quite a lot better from that incident than Vincenzo, unfortunately.
Yeah. Oh,
That's sure is a shame.
Gutting.
Yeah, we were literally just praising both drivers for avoiding that first one, and then straight away, you know, 2 corners later, boom, both gone.
Now look at this. Mark Richards back in the mix, chasing down Gabbiati and Benedetto right up the road. So forcing a mistake out of the drivers in front, you know, has kind of been Mark Richards' key to success here.
Yeah, he's just pure consistency, you know. He has the pace, he has the consistency, like all-round great driver. Honestly, you know, Mark puts in a lot of time. I know that myself, and you know, this is his proving point. You know, this is what he does.
And that's the other thing about some of the sausages, right? It's that this is what we do. We race free time.
Yep.
Again and again. We race, and here's a move from Richards, and he gets through on Benedetto, but from behind.
Yeah, almost looked like he kind of made his job a little bit easier there, really, didn't he? He clipped ever so slightly the back of Benedetto, which put Benedetto out of line, and just allowed Mark to do the double overtake there. Not too bad, not too bad. Very opportunistic, I must say.
Checking in back here, Paul Sims has, I believe that'll be Malvasi. That is Malvasi. Going wheel to wheel right now, and the door closes, but narrowly so, as the 13 just gets ahead of Malvasi in that number 69.
Nice.
Indeed. Good move there. Now, McCarthy up ahead of these drivers is one position down from where he started. Mark Richards is back to where he started in P5 currently.
So, you know, you drive from Benedetto. Bear in mind, he started, you know, right at the back. He's currently running just behind Mark. So, you know, that's a huge drive from him.
Benedetto's got a gain of 10 positions tonight. Absolutely nutty.
Yeah, he was just complaining in the driver's chat earlier on about the heat, but I'm sure this heat, you know, he's probably extra fired up now. So he's probably, you know, loving it deep down. Maybe not so much on the exterior, but you know, interior, all good.
Although it is overcast conditions, the race is still on, as the track temperature of 33 degrees Celsius is almost hot enough to boil an egg on. That is pretty ridiculous. Here comes Benedetto charging down the main straight and in towards turn 1. As Mauro Gabbiati still to keep him company. And look at how time flies when we're having fun. Only a minute, and 50 seconds left. Check in with our race leader that we haven't said anything about pretty much all race long.
Then collected, isn't he?
Yeah. The number 11 Cookie Monster machine, Paul Rocky Cook, has pretty much been from green to checkered under control. As we go through our last lap, Paul Rocky Cook might have the championship in the bag at this point in time, with Lewis Butler not being here. That definitely gives Paul Cook the opportunity to clinch it. Anything can happen in motor racing, and it typically does. So we'll see if drivers like Piper, Richards, Diviso can make charges through the field to give Paul Cook a new challenge going into heat number 2.
There's 2 battles going on, to be fair, one for P6 and one for P4. Mark and James, and Mauro and Benedetto. They're both very close to each other. It's going to be interesting if white flag hasn't come yet, so there's still going to be one extra lap most likely. And Mark has actually gone past James.
Mark up into P4 here and now. Now looking back at the Benedetto Gabbiani battle. And we will get a bonus lap. I mistimed the math, excuse me. So we will get the white flag this time by, thanks to Barney the Flagman.
Well, Barney the Flagman and our Cookie Monster as well. You know, he's driving too quick. I'm sure he caught Barney off guard as well.
There's Barney the Flagman, trying to find out where he was. Furiously waving that flag for us. He's such a good marshal. And thanks to all the track marshals here and the admin team at the Sausage Dodgers community. But it will be Paul Rocky Cook taking the W tonight. As we come around the paddock bend corner, across the line, Paul Cook takes the victory here tonight for the Sausage Dodgers Racing Heat number 1.
Yeah, a little bit of celebratory weaving there. Now, very nice, very nice. Well and collected drive, and big up to Marino as well. You know, he obviously didn't manage to pull Rocky Cook back, but yeah, keeping within 4 seconds of that speed is impressive. And Francesco as well, coming from P10, finishing in 3rd. Well and collected drive as well from him, so yeah, well done too.
Absolutely. And we'll get the drivers ready to rumble here in the next few minutes, and we'll get heat number 1's result posted right now. It was Paul Rocky Cook taking the victory in front of Marino Clararic, Francisco Cardullo in 3rd. Hard charger being Paul Rocky Cook, and he got the most laps led as well. Mark Richards, James Piper, Benedetto Deviso, Mauro Gabbiani, Jack McCarthy, Paul Sims, Marco Malvasi, Tommy Hurrah, Vincenzo Stagnito, Dan Miller, Luis Lopez, Richard Beaton, and Anthony Ward round out the top 16. What a race, brother.
Yeah, good race. I think the next one's going to be even better. A little extra 5 minutes might, you know, put a little bit more jeopardy at the end. Make it harder for some of these guys to defend, you know. Going offline here is it's not ideal usually, so it will be interesting.
Take another look at the points. Why don't you walk us through what the points are and who's where?
Well, still, Louis Butler is still winning, 150 points, 147 for Paul Cook. But after that race, I think Paul will definitely have probably taken the lead by now. By how many points, we'll know after. Christian Scrascia, 142 points. Francesco Cardullo, 141. Vincenzo Stagnito rounds up 140 with Daniel Moffat. Then we have Mauro Gabbiati, Richard Beaton, Paul Sims, James Piper, Sam Marshall, Mark Richards in 12th, Marino Clararic in 13th, Jack McCarthy holding 14th, Benedetto 15th, Tommy Lara 16th, Oscar Corbett, who shall not be mentioned, in 17th, and finally Luis Lopez in 18th.
Right on. Thank you so much, Oscar. And now, if you want to get involved in Sausage Dodgers Racing, here's how you go ahead and do it. Scan that QR code on your screen, and that will go ahead and send you over to getting involved to all of the racing action. If you like what you see and want to get involved in your sim rig, get seen on screen, we have plenty of events coming up, such as our Porsche Cup Season 3, sponsored by Barham Classic and Competition Engines. Again, scan that QR code on your screen. It'll direct you straight to all the Sausage Dodgers links. We have another great championship coming up. It's going to be the GT3 season starting very soon. And we'll also be having an American championship running on Sundays. Brings us up to our next event. It is our special event. Very special. June 13th with prize pool available, 7 p.m. GMT. It'll be out the Silverstone circuit. 1 hour driver briefing and practice with a 90-minute race. 50% fuel load, so expect to see a pit stop there at Silverstone. Again, scan that QR code on your screen and you'll get inserted into your sim rig right on time for these special events.
Yeah, great special event here, hosted by our very own coach Kenny, Andrew Kenny. He's very passionate about this. So yeah, come along, race with us. I'm sure you'll enjoy yourself. There is actual, real prizes up at stake. So racing is definitely going to be fierce. Live stewarding as well. So yeah, gonna be
Indeed. We're definitely going to see.
Don't ever forget, we're definitely going to see you, as our broadcaster, of course. So extra reasons to come along. I will be racing, so I won't join you here, but I'll try to make it more enjoyable on track for everyone as well.
The more sausages, the better, I always say. So get there on track, get involved, and we have, speaking of the sausages, what are they up to these days, Oscar? I know we have a team running in the majors right now, or excuse me, 3 teams of drivers running in the majors with the Sausage Dodgers deliveries. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct. So we have 3 teams now. It's crazy to think that a few years ago we only had 1. We've been struggling to get enough for 1, struggling to fill in the time slots, to make everyone comfortable for their stints. But yeah, this time we have 3, so we actually if anything, struggled filling that many drivers. But yeah, no, everyone's really excited for it. All the teams are booked. We have very frequent practice sessions. So yeah, again, anyone who is watching, thinking of doing it with us, or thinking about doing the majors, we have drivers of all levels. Come and join our practice sessions. I'm sure you'll be picked out.
Taking a look at the grid now, it'll be Marco Malvasi on pole position with Paul Sims, Jack McCarthy, Mauro Gabbiati, Benedetto De Viso, James Piper, Mark Richards. Francisco Cardullo, Marino Clark, Paul Rocky Cook, Tommy Harala, Vincenzo Stagnito. Dan Miller, Luis Lopez, Richard Beaton, and Anthony Ward rounding out the 16 in the field. And it's green, green, green. Marco Malvasi accepts the green flag. You're on the race start, and thankfully, no black flags this time running. Oh, Mauro Gabbiati going a little bit wide. Jack McCarthy making up for last race by getting moves done in early here. Up to P3 for him, up to P4 for Richards, who's gone up 3 on the good. Let's keep an eye on our championship leader as well. Benedetto De Viso in 6. Where is Paul Rocky Cook? He's down in P10 and hasn't gained a single position. Looking further back, Dan Miller in a battle with Marino Clark. Tommy Harala in the mix as well with Anthony Ward, Richard Beaton, all in the mix here. And Anthony Ward, the autism and motorsports driver, has a big wiggle coming out of the S's, but recovers. Up to Mark Richards and Mauro Gabbiati, who are in the mix and battle for P4. And this could be a podium battle should things go awry up ahead.
I think a lot of drivers, especially the drivers at the top of the board, especially Paul. These early laps, I'm sure he's just in full damage control. He knows he's on the top. He just needs to get a good strong finish. You know, as long as he finishes, his chances are there. You know.
Whoa! Little bit of a hip check back there. I think that was Dan Miller going wheel to wheel with Paul Cook potentially. As we were just singing his praises about his patience, it gets a little dicey for him. And look at this train of cars. I mean, just unbelievable. I know we're only a few laps into this, but
Drivers are still confident from the last race, aren't they? Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. That's exactly what it is, isn't it? They're just confident from the last race. They're heated up. They've got the flow.
Yep.
Now, I guess the question is, or the question lies for me, does the 5-minute cooldown period really affect you in a negative way?
No, we thought about this. A few drivers, they asked for the 5-minute warm-up to, have their own little duties at home, Oh, a little drift from Vincenzo Stagnato there on T1. But a lot of drivers ask for it. A lot of just to do their own personal things in between the race. Get a drink, go to the loo, whatever. But then other drivers do just want to go straight into the other one. But I don't know. I don't think 5 minutes is that long to lose concentration. Start. You can get your mind wandering other places, especially if you're sat in your rig. So.
Here's Paul Rocky Cook shaking and baking here with Benedetto De Vizzo. But no longer having to talk to him as he's driving away and pulls out a half-second gap after that move was done. Paul Rocky Cook executing this one perfectly. Oh, battle for the lead between Malvasi and Jack McCarthy as Malvasi wants the position, goes wheel to wheel with McCarthy, and it will be a drag through turn number 1. Malvasi gives a little bit of wiggle to McCarthy, and McCarthy reacts just perfectly there as if he could see his front wheels, but he doesn't see his front wheels there because Malvasi existed, and the tiniest of touches sends it round. And now McCarthy's going to duke it out with Richards. What was that, Oscar? I'm sorry.
No, I was just saying, and through goes Mark. In all that kerfuffle, he just overtook like 3 people.
Oh, yeah. He's just in the background. Mark just gets another 3 positions. People are checking up for the accident, and he's like, no, thank you.
No, thank you. I'll go straight through. Lucky for him, Marco Malvasi did go completely off track, so I wouldn't even be sure if he got a yellow flag for that. I mean, I'm sure maybe he did, but it was completely out of the racing line.
Is that McCarthy tumbling down the order? What happened?
I believe he just went on the sand a little bit.
And does that give you an off track?
Went wide.
Look at
this. He definitely would have got off track there, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, maybe got a slow down for using too much of the track width. Look at this gaggle of F4 machineries as the wheels get intertwined between James Piper and Paul Sims, excuse me. And disaster unfolds. That's collecting a few cars. Holy Toledo.
That was a lot that just happened. I believe it was Vincenzo that initially lost it.
So Vincenzo just loses it on the grass, and then I can't tell who that is that he collects in that, but
unfortunately it was Paul Rocky Cook.
There. No.
Yeah, it was our previous race winner. Yeah. Completely nothing really he could do. He slowed down as much as he could, but it doesn't look like he had damage. Maybe to the suspension, something we can't see, but front left and definitely got a hit, but he did all he could. He slowed down, he saw the car coming, predicted it well, but yeah, still unfortunately just clipped his front left wheel.
Absolutely tragic there. Now it'll be a steeper challenge for Paul Rocky Cook to attempt
we're not even
to secure the
halfway
lead.
through the race, are we? So
True. Long way to go still for the man who is playing the patient game.
yeah, unfortunate for Paul. That was completely out of his control there. For Jack McCarthy, though, I mean, he was in P1, or sorry, P2, after being overtaken by Mark, and then just literally dipped slightly, but he went over onto the gravel trap, and oh no, he just spun again. Oh no. I need to
That's
stop talking about him.
McCarthy.
He's spinning. Yeah. When I speak about him, he just ends up spinning or going off track. It's not good. I apologize.
Now you understand the powers of the commentator curse.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Say nice things about one driver and it happens.
Yeah, no, honestly, I need to say bad things about Jack. Like, I think that might be the way. We need to only say bad things from now on, and hopefully, be good gratitude in the race. But that does put him, unfortunately, I think, in last. Or just before, just second to last. Which, considering he was in first,
no!
That's a big downer.
Oh
no! What happened there? Someone's upside down.
We're gonna have to see if we can get.
I think. I think Benedetto just went a little bit too deep into the corner, following Marino. Locked up himself.
Up.
Yeah, and then I believe Vincenzo just went over him and got another case of, this is a Formula car. My wheel will go over yours and flip my car.
Oh man.
Yeah, I believe Benedetto has damage, doesn't he? He's got a meatball.
Yeah, that'll be the end of that
apologies
battle.
Earlier on. That wasn't Stagnito, was it? No, it wasn't Stagnito. It was Cardulo. Yeah.
Yeah, it would have to have been Cardulo. Stagnito too far down the order. Oh, and he almost goes into James Piper. That rear wing has definitely got a tire mark on him at this point.
Yeah, I think a lot of drivers this race have been a little bit checked up. I think they had quite a lot, like we said, confidence coming to this race, and then braking later, not realizing that maybe the guy in front isn't braking as far as you, and just catching themselves out.
Was that a bump and run there from Stagnito into Piper? Holy smokes, what a battle here between these two, and that'll be a pit stop for Piper by the looks of it. We don't have a planned pit stop, do we?
I don't believe so, no. I don't know why he's pitting. I don't believe he had a meatball. He's changing tyres now as well, so maybe he's feeling something in them. Maybe he wants to go again.
Might have been involved in that incident and locked up his tires perchance.
Maybe.
Here's Paul Sims in his battle with Mauro Gabbiati, who's been able to hold on to what he has gained early on in this race. 2 positions currently for Mauro.
Yeah, despite being absolutely torpedoed by Vincenzo, Paul is was still on charge. He's in 6th currently, so it's still all on on the cards for him.
I noticed that you completely avoided saying anything about the driver of the 420.
Yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah. There's no favoritism. I shall not speak about Mark. No, he's having a good race. You can tell. He's after his jump stop in the first race,
he's gonna crash. Good job.
Yeah.
Good job.
No, he's good under control. I don't think this black magic stuff will hinder Mark in any way.
Mark Richards currently up 6 positions on the good right now, running in first position, but it was pretty hard fought to get those 3 on the race start, and then a heroic send through a, well, not a yellow flag zone, but through a heroic move is all we have to say. He gained another 3 positions and was up into P2, and then the battle between him and Gabbiati for the lead is what settled that debate. Holy smokes. Dan Miller from last place in the first race just has the fastest lap of the event.
Quick learner. Very quick learner.
Yeah, Dan Miller running in 5th tonight. South African has Marino Kloarek up ahead to keep him company.
Yeah, Marino had a very good first race as well, and again he's stayed very clean, stayed out of trouble this race. You know, I haven't seen him in any really anything at all. Just, you know, fluid, consistent laps constantly. So yeah, again, well done to him as well.
Now,
I believe he got second first race, didn't he? So,
as a driver of these cars, or as someone that's been in these cars more regularly than myself, is Marino has a little mistake and that'll let Miller right on through. You know, what are the keys here in open wheelers to success? You know, I can only imagine what it is, or I can only come up with what I know as far as keys to the race. But what do you believe as a driver the keys to the race are?
Sago, I'm a little bit on your end of the stick here. Really, I wouldn't say, you know, I drive many Formula cars, you know, on the service or anything like that. This is actually probably my first time I've dipped into it. So, yeah, can't help you there, unfortunately. But I think, you know, coming out of the races that I have done earlier on in the season, just staying clean, tire management. You know, the tires here are basically just slightly larger erasers on your pencil, you know, so you just got to make sure they're well kept for. And yeah, like we've seen, don't, you know, put your wheel in between another driver's wheel, and it seems to turn you upside down quite often. So
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure once you know, the race concludes and we get our winners here, we can ask them that question and get a much better response there.
Absolutely. Here around Summit Point Raceway with the track length of 3.20 kilometers. Now I know what a kilometer is. It's because Summit Point is 2 miles. So it's 1.1. That doesn't make any sense. That doesn't make any sense. That math doesn't make any sense. I still don't know what a kilometer
Well, what
is.
do you guys use in America? You use
Miles.
bananas, no?
Yeah,
Oh,
miles.
okay.
Basically the same thing.
I thought you used bananas. You know, that's just, you know, the metric comparison. You
Banana
know, you put
for
a banana
scale?
for scale. Yeah.
That is an American thing. We do
Okay,
that.
yeah,
I won't deny that.
So apparently a kilometer is about 5,250 bananas.
Okay.
Fun fact.
Perfect. I now know. I know now exactly how long a kilometer is. 5,250 bananas.
Yeah.
What a precise number.
Yep.
No rounding, no like extra banana needed for...
Not needed. These are all perfect asymmetrical bananas.
That's illogical. 1 mile is approximately 1.6 kilometers. That's not exact though. I would prefer to know the exact. It's like 1.63 or something like that.
No, it's like almost 6.1, I'm pretty sure.
I think it's closer.
Like 1 mile is 1.61.
Close. I think it's closer to 6.3 than it is 6.1. You think? Anyways, Back to the battle at hand. We've talked about bananas and mileage for far too long. The mileage here is the battle for P2 between Mauro Gabbiati, Paul Sims, and Miller. With just 8 minutes and 25 seconds left to go. There goes Paul Sims making a cheeky look at the number 17, but backs out of it, and the 17 closes the door, and the wheels become intertwined, and they all back out of it, but through goes Dan Miller into P2, and they all come through unscathed somehow, someway.
Yeah, another one of those weird Formula things, isn't it, really? Wheels become interlocked, both drivers kind of just go straight, you know. Well, no, well done to all drivers, they did actually get out of that fine. Obviously, Dan Miller, main beneficiary of that one. Paul Sims, biggest loser of that one, unfortunately. But race is not yet over.
Not yet over at all. 7 minutes and 30 seconds remaining on the clock. So it's still anybody's ball game. Hold the phone. Can Mark Richards win this?
Possible. It's possible.
So Mark finished in P5 for heat number 1, if I remember correctly. Paul finishes in P6. Mark was pretty close on points.
He'll be close. He'll be close.
Oh my goodness.
It will be close.
It's going to come down to singular points at the end of the day.
Yep. I don't see Paul giving up, though. Last race, Marino was chasing him. This race, he's chasing Marino.
Oh, no. I'm sorry. So Mark is not in the top 9 from what I see. It would have to be Sarcasio, who's not here, or Cardulo to challenge Paul Cook. And Cardulo's down in P15.
Oh, yeah, he's right back.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah, he's the man I was upside down earlier on with Benedetto, isn't it? So.
Yeah, and then Stagnito also the only other driver I think to be able to challenge. So, I mean, I think just mathematically, Paul Cook has maybe got this one in the bag. We'll obviously wait for confirmation, but I believe this one is secured. Side-by-side battle here between Gabbiati and Paul Sims, and the door opens itself. Sims goes over the curb, touches a little bit of grass to boot, and 13. Holy Toledo chases down the 17 still. Again, the drivers want to keep pushing as hard as possible. To the line. It's just one of the things that, again, just astounds me is that the drivers are still pushing their hearts out to the checkered flag. You know, it's one thing to push when you know everything's on the line, but it's another thing to continue to push when you kind of don't have a leg to stand on. These guys want to keep pushing no matter what. We're here for a drive. And these guys continue to push. Paul Sims, not mathematically in it, but might force his way through on Gabbiati there. Unfortunate. And again, might be one of those situations that the stewards are going to have to look at. Here's Paul Sims battling with Benedetto, who's probably a little further down the order than I think he would like to be now. Oh, what about Marino Kloraric? I just thought things. Oh, who is that? Spun
It's him
out
and Paul
in
Sims, I
front.
believe. Ooh.
Ooh. Close call as Marino Kloraric chases down Paul Sims. That's Luis Lopez or Jack McCarthy
Oh no,
going
it's
off
Jack
track?
McCarthy. Yep. Jack McCarthy had a little spin, went onto the grass, and yeah, luckily he spun off the racing line. So yeah, and good rejoin from Jack. So yeah,
And look at who's
unfortunate on the spin, but well done.
And look who's not going to give up. Marino Kloraric finds P3 in front of Paul Sims. Oh, or is it done just yet as the slipstream is very powerful? It looks like Paul Sims might close the door on Marino Kloraric. Wow, where is the time gone? 1 minute, 40 seconds remaining on the clock. Boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, fans of racing. Again, thank you very much for being here. Thank you very much for your support. Please do not forget to like and subscribe, ring the bell to get notifications of when we go live next. And again, if you want to get involved, make sure you scan the QR code on your screen. And if you want to support the Sausage Dodgers, there's another QR code you can scan. It's this one right here. Support the stream. The money goes straight towards supporting the stream, keeping the servers online, practice sessions going for the sausages, and the broadcasts. Now we'll be getting an additional lap again from Mark Richards. I believe we will head out to lap 22's completion. But what about this, Oscar? An amazing race by Mark Richards tonight.
Yep, yeah, well done to him. He came back, especially from that, false start on the first race. Yeah, pure. No mistakes, went straight through, took his opportunities, and we still got the rest of this lap, but it is looking like it's a home run for him.
Well done for Richards, who basically showed up and showed us how it was done, challenged by the reverse grid for heat number 2. And he definitely put his best foot forward tonight. Like you said, he's got one more lap left to go, but he's cut it down to just one more corner here and now. Mark Richards crossing the line, ready to take the victory for Sausage Dodgers Racing, heat number 2 and the finale of the Formula 4 series.
James might have a run on Anthony Ward in the final corner.
Here's the drag to the line between Ward and Piper. It'll be Ward just a nose ahead of Piper. Beautiful race. Now, Oscar, You'll be my first guest and interviewee tonight. How'd you feel about the race? How'd you feel about being in the booth on the other side of the microphone?
Yeah, I think it's good being in the microphone seat today. It was a bit too hot to race, especially in my setup. So I opted for this. The race was good though. I enjoyed it. Loads of battles. I think there's going to be quite a few reviews at the end of the race as well. Hopefully, the drivers' race tickets, especially the ones that do feel like they've been wronged. But no, it was good. I enjoyed it. Thank you for having me as well. Maybe we'll have a few more as well. I don't know. But yeah.
Definitely. We'll have to take a look and see if we can talk to some of the drivers. We get ready to interview some of them here in just a few moments, folks. Want to give a big shout out and thanks to everybody who showed up and showed out. Let's take a look at these results, though. Mark Richards, Dan Miller, Marino Kloraric, the 1, 2, 3. Paul Sims in fourth, Paul Rocky Cook, Richard Beaton, Vincenzo Stagnito, Anthony Ward, James Piper, Marco Malvasi, Mauro Gabbiani, Luis Lopez, Benedetto De Viso, Francisco Cardullo, Jack McCarthy, and Tommy Harala. And we do have our race winner of Mark Richards. Let's talk to Mark first and foremost in here about his tremendous race that he had.
Hi, Sagar.
Hey, Mark, let's hear about your race. What about that race start that you had, nearly getting 3 positions right off the rip?
Oh, yeah, the reverse grids can be good for that. Yeah, no, it was good. It was a good race, for me at least,
And what about what happened for race number 1, or shall we move on from that topic?
Race number 1 was, I had a jump start. I saw someone else jump, and then I jumped with them, and then I think someone else jumped with me. So there was kind of three jumps on that first lap, and that kind of set us back quite a bit then as well. I had to go kind of last to get through the field as best I could.
Oh,
Pulled it back though. Pulled it back.
Yeah, pulled it back to
Yep.
P5, I think, at the end of the night.
Yeah. No, it was really good. I really enjoyed it. Good racing here. It's a shame we didn't have our man Les here with us. He would have done us proud, but I guess Forza calls.
Yeah. Anybody you'd like to shout out, or anybody you'd like to thank?
Yeah, well, shout out Les. This is his track. This is I learned everything from Les, and shout out to Jill as well. Yeah, that's all. Thanks.
Right on. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you, Mark. Have a great night, and most importantly, stay safe, brother. And it looks like we have one other person joining us before we get to our championship winner. It'll be Marco Malvasi. Marco, how are you doing today?
Hello everyone. Yeah, I'm doing pretty good. Unfortunately, the second race didn't go so well for me because I got taken out by I don't remember who, but yeah, it was pretty disappointing. But this stuff happens.
But Malvasi, you definitely had the pace. You were contending for P number 1 there for a little while. How did it feel to lead the field for that time?
It felt pretty nice. It's not every day that you like stay for a while in first place. Yeah, it's been pretty rough. I tried to fight with all my energy, but yeah, I unfortunately couldn't finish it in first. But it's been a big fight. Kudos to the ones that were behind me. They gave me a pretty big fight.
It looked like it was a fun fight, and you're probably dripping in sweat by the end of the night. Summit Point tends to have that effect on drivers, especially in these machines.
Oh yeah, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I was sweating. I was sweating a lot. You know, I felt the drops on my body was pretty rough, but yeah, it's pretty fun. These cars are super fun to drive. They they slide pretty easily, which I like. And yeah, they're not under Siri at all.
Is there anybody you'd like to shout out or anybody you'd like to thank tonight, Malvasi? Marco?
Yes.
Is there anybody you'd like to shout out or anybody you'd like to thank tonight?
No, not really. I mean, no.
All right. Thank you very much for joining us. We really appreciate you. Have a great night and stay safe out there.
Thanks.
And now the drum roll, please. We have the one, the only Paul Rocky Cook. Paul,
Well done, man. Well done, man. That was
Cheers.
control drive. It was very good. Very good.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
not only did you take the win there for round number 4 and recover after a tremendous hit back up into P5 for the win of the overall championship, man. How does it feel, Paul?
Oh, it feels amazing. Yeah, I was a bit nervous going into it. Obviously, it's been a close championship and it was pretty tight at the top. I got my kind of bit between my teeth, had a decent quali, and then obviously took race 1. Really felt like I controlled the pace in race 1. Race 2, I'm not sure if the track temps were higher, but found it a lot trickier. The car felt a lot more slidey, but yeah, I was kind of just trying to finish in the top 5, really, just so that I can kind of bring the championship home. But yeah, my heart sank when I got completely sent and dive bombed and smashed off the track. I mean, it was a bit, well, not a bit, it was extremely optimistic. And yeah, as you can imagine, a few swear words on our comms. But then I just got my head down and just battled. And fortunately, there was some incidents ahead and managed to fight back up to P5. I finished in the end. So yeah, really pleased.
Excellent work, Paul. I mean, just silent but deadly this whole championship season. I know this was a quick 4-punch rounder, but 2 heats apiece. It was 8 races, 8 rounds of racing. You were just Mr. Consistent time and time again, showing up, showing out, consistently getting those top 5s, recovering well. What did it take to get a championship with the Sausage Dodgers?
I think you hit the nail on the head, to be honest. I think it's just about consistency. I'm never kind of the fastest person, but I usually race hard and clean and stay pretty consistent. I can kind of hold lap times within a few tenths each time. So yeah, I think it's just about being consistent, really, and just trying to stay out of trouble. I've had a few knocks and a few hits, but each time I've managed to get my head down and pull something out of the bag.
Paul,
did you
you
get any damage from that small incident you had with I believe it was Vincenzo in race 2? Did you have any damage from that?
It felt like I had a little, but it wasn't. I was expecting a lot more based on the hit because it felt, the wheel felt.
Yeah, it looked like a massive hit, to be honest, from our point of view. And he came into that corner at quite a massive speed. Unfortunately, dipped his left tire in the grass and just went sideways into you. But I'm pretty sure you must have seen him completely miss that corner and go sideways in your mirror or something, because you almost completely stopped. I think if you didn't, that guy would have definitely probably hit your side pod, caused a lot more damage. So again, that just proves damage control is important.
Yeah. I think I got lucky with the damage, but it was a massive send. Not sure who it was, but they were never making that corner at that trajectory, at that angle. I think.
Yeah, by that point he already lost it.
Yeah.
He was sideways.
Okay.
He was sideways pretty much. So, I mean,
Yeah, so I
he
saw it
definitely.
in the mirror, and I was like, "Oh no!" So I could see him kind of approaching me from the left, and I just tried to brake in a straight line and keep to the right as much as I could, and I could see him coming. I did everything to avoid any form of contact, and like you say, I think that may have saved me from getting a lot more damage than I did.
Yeah, definitely. Well done. That was good.
Cheers.
Paul, I think this might be the very first time I'm asking you this. On the championship win, is there anybody you'd like to shout out or anybody you'd like to thank?
Yeah, I'd like to thank all the Sausage Dodgers. They're a great bunch of lads, and I enjoy doing the league races with them. I have to shout out to the missus for allowing me to come out and play on Tuesday night. It's normally our date night.
Oh
so,
yes, most important. Mm-hmm.
so yeah, that's cost me a few more date nights, but it's 100% been worth it. So yeah, thanks all.
Right on, Paul. Thank
It's
you so
worth it
much.
to be, championship champion, right? So it proved
Exactly.
worth it. It proved worth it.
Exactly.
Now you can retire, Paul.
That's it. I'm done now. See you.
Thank you very much for joining me, Paul. Really appreciate it, brother. Have a great night, my friend.
Thanks both, and thanks for a great series and commentary. Cheers.
Cheers, brother. Ooh, man, that was a good one. How do you feel, Oscar? And how do you sum this one up?
Close, chaotic, many mistakes. I don't really know how many words I can use, so I think I'll just finish it on that one. But it was good. I think the Stewards are going to enjoy and probably have a field day with quite a few of the things that happen in this race. I doubt they will affect the championship though. So it will literally just be a matter of little slap on the hand. But yeah, I've enjoyed being in here with you, Sagar. So thank you for having me, and yeah, that's it from me really as well.
We have the championship standings that came in. It was Paul Cook who took the win. Francisco Cardulo in second, with Vincenzo Stagnito to round it out in third. So if any one of those drivers want to come in and chat with us as well, feel free to go ahead and do so. Just checking the interview room. I'd see none, so let's move on to thanking everybody for their support. Thank you very much for their sponsorship. And we got to give a big shout out to everybody in the Patreon. In tier 2, Mickey Phipps, Andrew Keston, Sam Marshall, and Uncle Lloyd. In the tier 3, it's Jack Jacketson and Craig Starkey. If you want to donate, if you want to support the stream, if you want to keep the lights on here for the Sausage Dodgers, go ahead and scan that QR code and get involved with the community. On the meanwhile, we have Andrew Keston, Simon Hutchings, and Paul Rocky Cook. Get involved with our GT3 Sausage Dodgers Racing Season 1 kicking off here in just a few weeks. We also have that American League starting up very soon. Don't forget about our Porsche Cup Season 3 of it kicking off, sponsored by Barham Engines Classic and Competition Engine Repairs. Thank you to our Tier 1, Leslie Simpkins, Andrew Kenny, Mark Richards, Jack McCarthy, and Simon Darsh, or as we know and love him, Simone Darsh. With all that being said, folks, thank you very much. Been a pleasure. Honestly, this time, joined with me in the booth has been Oscar Corbett, taking us from green to checkered flag tonight. Have a great night, and as always, make sure you stay safe out there. Bye for now.
Through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays.